Hello, cybersecurity students. So I wanted to record this video to talk about what e-learning days might look like and specific due dates for assignments and things like that. So first thing that I want to mention is the week 8 assignments right here. I've graded all of those and entered those into Infinite Campus. So your grade should be updated in Infinite Campus. Remember, because we are on a standards-based grading system, you're not going to see a letter grade, you're going to see a number. If you refer back to the syllabus, you'll be able to see the specific scale that I use for what is an A, what is a B, what is a C, and so on. So just email me if you have any questions about that, but week 8 is done. So the week 9 things, both the week 9 group lab 2.1.1 and the things in week 9 here, like how does the internet work, plan of action, case number 2 in the Metasploit lab, these things were technically due all the way back here on March 6th. So I always give you a 2-week extension in order to redo assignments for additional credit, or to turn them in late in case you were sick or just a little bit behind or whatever. That 2-week extension still exists, but it is not going to be pushed back because this week technically we have snow. We're using our snow days and things like that. So the due date for all of the week 9 assignments, PLTW 2.1.1, the how does the internet work, plan of action case 2, Metasploit lab, blue team the game, the reflection and extension activity. The last day to turn these in will be this week, Friday, March 20th. On the 20th, just like every week so far that we've had, you're going to lose access to these things. I'll grade them and then I will update Infinite Campus with your grades. I think I took a look. Most people have gotten this Metasploit lab completed. So this was something that you needed the virtual machines to do. So hopefully you were able to get that done. If you were not able to get that done, you can email me, and when we return back to school, I'll give you an extension on this specific lab, so you'll be able to get that. I'll allow you to work on that when we return from school, but all of the other things that do not require the virtual machines, the how does the internet work, plan of action, blue team the game, reflection and extension activity, those things, the last day that you'll be able to turn them in will be the 20th. Okay, so I'll make an exception for the Metasploit lab, but everything else is going to be the 20th. In terms of the week 10 assignments, the week 10 assignments were assigned last week, the 9th through the 13th. And actually most people were able to get these done. Now, there were actually a few hiccups with these labs. So we had this lab, if you remember, 2.1.2, I had previously assigned this, but then my.pltw changed how the lab worked, and it required an Amazon login, which I'm still in the process of setting up for everyone. So we're just not going to do this lab in class. You can still do the IP address verification lab using the my.pltw 2.1.2 virtual machine. You just launch the virtual machine from my.pltw and then follow the specific steps in this lab right here. So you'll open up this lab right here, and then you just kind of follow these specific steps. But you won't have to actually complete. You won't have to complete lab 2.1.2. You can just use the virtual machine from that one to do this one. Ping lab, we're not going to do that one. So let's talk about these two assignments. The install Windows 7 don't complete this assignment. Unfortunately, I'm trying to uncheck this so that you can't see it, just like this one. You can't see this one on your screen. But because a few students have already completed it, I'm not allowed to unpublish it. This one requires your virtual machines to complete. And so when we return back to school, you'll have an opportunity to complete this, but you don't have to complete this outside of school. For the first packet analysis lab, in the video, I tell you specifically to follow along with this. I say watch this video and follow along as you complete the lab. You do not have to follow along. So all you have to do is watch this video, answer all of these questions, and then this last question right down here, you do not need to do. Okay, so this question right down here would require you to complete the lab using Wireshark. You do not need to complete this. So again, all you have to do is watch this video and answer these questions right here. You do not need to create virtual machines or follow along for this specific assignment. Let me head back here, and then like all weeks, we have the reflection form and extension activity that can be completed outside of school. So these things, all the week 10 assignments that I just talked about, were due technically last week on Friday the 13th, but like everything, I'm giving you a 2-week extension to either redo work for additional credit or to turn things in late in case you were sick or whatever, had some difficult life situations. So that 2-week extension extends until the 27th. Because this is technically your spring break right here, the 23rd through the 27th, I'm going to extend that out an additional week to April 3rd. Okay, so the last day that you will have to turn in the week 10 assignments will be Friday, April 3rd. And again, I think last week on Friday, I said you'd have to have everything done by the 27th, but I just wanted to extend that out just a little bit more to give you guys an opportunity to do this in case you have family situations or other things at home going on. I know that this e-learning might be difficult and might be a bit of a learning curve, so I'm giving you an additional week to get that done. So for week 10, IP address verification, you don't have to do this, install Windows 7, but the first packet analysis lab, the week 10 reflection, and the week 10 extension activities, they were due technically on the Friday the 13th, but you will have all the way until April 3rd to turn these in for full credit. This week, right here, the week 16 through the 20th, normally this would be week 11 right here. So normally I would be opening this up and we would be doing week 11 activities. But because this week we are using snow days, I'm not going to be assigning any of the week 11 stuff this week. And instead we're going to be holding off on that. Hopefully you will return to school on the Monday the 30th after your spring break, and we will open up week 11 and we'll start doing these things as a class in class. If we are doing e-learning days this week, the 30th through April 3rd, then I'm going to have to make some modifications to these things. You're still going to have PLTW labs, you're still going to have articles and extension activities and reflection forms. The labs that require the virtual machines at school, obviously those labs I'll have to modify. So, but I'm not doing anything yet. What we're doing is, rather than me publishing these week 11 activities, which technically would be this, because we're using snow days, we're not going to do any of this. We're going to hold off a week, and the week 11 stuff I'll open up on after your spring break. Now, if you come back on the 30th, then we'll just continue as normal as we normally do, and we'll do our group lab in your groups, and we'll use the virtual machines and everything will be back. If on the 30th we have e-learning days, then I will create another video like this explaining how modifications were made to the assignments, and what my expectations are for all the assignments. But you will still have work for this class if we have e-learning days, and it'll be, I mean, you can probably imagine what it's going to be. It'll be those my PLTW labs, and the articles and things like that. So at the end of this video, I have a question. There's going to be one question. Do you kind of understand what e-learning is going to look like in here? And do you have any questions about when things are due? Please reply back. Please answer that on the Ed puzzle. Make sure you've watched the whole video, which you have if you've gotten to this point. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right, stay safe.